Oh, wow. The one's right there, and you can't even see it. It's right there. Oh, Alrighty. Ah. Oh, no. Billy. Okay, Billy. Okay. Yeah, everybody. I wasn't special. Oh, sweet jits. Yeah. Yeah. Feel sarcastic. Oh.
From the radical wing of the Democratic Party, Bernie Sanders says, "Oh, no, don't worry, progressives, woke radicals. She's really on our side. She's just lying to you to win the election." That's essentially what he said. And I think the first question I would ask is, you certainly admire Bernie Sanders. He's one of your biggest supporters. He's accused you of basically lying, of remaining a strong progressive left-wing woke person, but pretending to be a centrist to win the election. Who's lying, you or him?
All right. So, Professor, as you explained this, I don't see you voting for Kamala Harris. I mean, even your respect, the one thing that you and I have in common when it comes to politics is our love of the Constitution and our love of this country. I will offer the Democrats have trampled on the Constitution. Look at the lawfare that you defended President Trump against. Kamala Harris was at the heart of that.
I agree with you, but what about Donald Trump saying he's going to prosecute the people who he alleges have persecuted him? That's banana republic talk. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that he also has still claiming, although he's not said it recently, that he won the election last time. He didn't win the election last time. I don't like the fact that he attacked Senator McCain, the man who could have been
Get over it.
activity.
Get over it. You're a liar. You're a tough guy. You're a Jew. Come on. You're a New York Jew. A New York lawyer. Come on. I'm talking like a little girl now.
So there are reasons for voting against both candidates, and I'm going to have to decide, like
Hey, Russ.
who is the least worst candidate. Now, if it's a question of
Say again?
policies, it's easy. Trump's policies are better. There's no doubt about it. If it's a question of personality.
And that, Professor, is very important because I understand there's a lot of people who don't like President Trump's personality. I personally do. We could argue about stolen election. I could give you some evidence why I think it was. You could give me evidence why you don't think it was. The McCain thing, I'll give you that. Maybe he shouldn't have said this. But in the end, President Trump loves this country. I'm not sure Kamala Harris actually does. You've been around President Trump. Let me ask you this. Do you like him? I'm not even in politics. Just, do you like President Trump? Do you like being around him?
Yes, he's a charming guy. We spent the day in court together during the New York trial. I was on his side 100%. That case is fraught with danger to the American Constitution, and we joined hands in trying to resist an unconstitutional conviction. And yes, I enjoy being with him. He's a charming guy, but I don't enjoy listening to him attacking other people and making the kinds of comments he's made about women. Look, tonight he has a chance. If he can be a real mensch, if he can just stand up and say, look, let's talk about policies, let's keep personalities out of this, let's not have nicknames for people, let's not attack people, I think he can win this election. And by the way, Kamala Harris could do something smart too. When she shakes hands with him, she should say, I'm so sorry about the attempt to take your life. That's not something no American should ever support.
All right.
And I'm on that.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of Jewish wine you were drinking, but
So
you're a little off today.
the left has the possibility to bring us together. I think they've been so divisive through all this. You mentioned the squad and the radicalism and jihadists in Congress. I mean, I just don't see them being a party of unity when they've done so much to divide us, going all the way back to Barack Obama. I'm sensing from you, Professor, that you could vote for President Trump, but I don't hear you saying that you could vote for Kamala Harris. Am I wrong? I don't want the words in your mouth by any means.
I want to hear what she says in the debate. I want to hear what happens if Israel is attacked by Iran, how she responds. Look, you vote based on the totality of the circumstances, and sometimes you have to hold your nose when you go into the voting booth and you vote. I remember voting for Lyndon Johnson back in 1964 and hating some of the things I had heard about his personal life and his personal relationship with staff members, but I thought he was better than Goldwater. Today, I think I vote for Goldwater. He's a moderate Republican compared to some people. Look, I want to see our country move to the middle, and I will in the end vote for whoever I think will help move the country to the middle, away from the extremes. And you're right, I have a very, very hard time voting for the Democrats these days. A very, very hard time.
All right, I want to hear your opinion on my...
What are you listening to?
I think that's the fundamental difference.
You're confusing liberals with progressives. I am a liberal. I have not left the Liberal Party. I am a staunch liberal. Liberal believes in individual decision-making, including a woman's right to make decisions about her body, including the right of gay people to marry who they love. I am a libertarian liberal. I do not favor government intervention. I want the government to give us the ability to have good health care, but I don't believe in single-payer, government having control over everybody's health care. I want to choose my own doctors. So I'm a liberal, but I am more opposed to progressives, radicals, woke people than even conservatives. I much prefer conservatives to woke radicals, but don't confuse liberals like me with radicals. I believe in free speech. Radicals don't. I believe in choice. Many radicals don't. They want to make decisions for you. So I'm as anti-radical as I am anti-fascist on the other side.
Do you think, and I mean this sincerely, do you think the radicals are the majority of the Democrat Party today, including everyday folks, or do you think liberals still there? It's just the radicals are the loudest?
The radicals are the loudest, and the problem with the Democrats, the reason I can't be a Democrat, is that people like Biden and Kamala Harris and Walsh have given in to the radicals. Why didn't they select Josh Shapiro? I'm not a big fan of Josh Shapiro personally, but the only reason he wasn't picked is because his name isn't John Shepard. If he was an Episcopalian named John Shepard, the governor of the most important state, the most popular governor in the country, and by some counting, of course he would have been picked. And it's not that Kamala Harris an anti-Semite. She's married to a Jew. The point is that she gave in to the radicals. She knew if she had appointed a Jewish Zionist to be the vice presidential candidate, there couldn't have been a convention. There would have been riots in the street. The radicals in the Democratic Party would have torn the party apart. That's why you get somebody like Waltz idiotically, bigoted saying that these protesters are saying all the right things. They're doing it for the right reasons. He's giving in. He wants to win Michigan. He wants to win Minnesota. But let me tell you, it is despicable to have him support these protesters who burn American flags, who love to kill Jews. And it was just as despicable for President Biden to say that they have good points. You know, Biden claims he ran for president because he says Trump said there were fine people on both sides. He didn't say that. I heard what Trump said. Trump said there were fine people on both sides in the debate about whether to remove the statue of Robert E. Lee. He was right. I was on the side of not removing the statue of Robert E. Lee. I was on the side of maybe putting it in a museum with an explanation, but certainly not destroying it. But that's not what Trump said. But that's what Biden said when he said they have good points. Well, that's what Wall said when he said the protesters are doing it for all the right reasons. They are not doing it for the right reasons. They're doing it because they're bigots.
All right, let me leave you with this, because you know my goal always, I think the last time you were on, I said, I want to get you to vote for Trump before Election Day. I want to get you to do it. Abortion up to the moment of birth, 9 months. Men playing in women's sports. We agree that Joe Biden's policies, Harris's policies, have given us inflation through the roof, that it's really making Americans struggle, and lawfare is very real. Do you agree? Are you against all of those things? And if so, is Trump now your only choice?
Well, I'm against abortion to the moment of birth unless it endangers the life of the woman. And on women and men in sports, it's a complicated issue. You have a case now where somebody has been a woman all of her life, but she has some genetic matters that don't allow her to pass a test. You know, there are women who have very large wingspans and can beat anybody in swimming. It's a complicated issue. I think it has to be considered very seriously, and I feel for the women who have to compete against people who are genetically very, very different from them. These are complicated issues.
That's a one-off, though, Professor. You know what we're talking. We're talking about the male swimmer who's literally swimming in collegiate male sports and now wants to be a girl swimmer.
I agree with that. I think that people have to be judged by the way they've lived their lives. I think we have to be sensitive to transgenders who have to change their sex. I know 2 grandparents who had suicidal children, and then when they transformed, they became happy and good. I don't want to make decisions about these people. I don't want 14-year-olds to be able to do it. But I'm a libertarian. If you want to be a woman, you be a woman. If you want to be a man, you be a man.
Professor, not to get too deep into the woods, but you and I would both agree the parents should have a role in deciding that. You got Gavin Newsom saying, hey, you can come to California without telling your parents to have a sex change operation. That's ridiculous.
I agree with that. I think you have to have parental concern up to a certain age. And then, I'm a libertarian, liberal. I hate radical, woke progressives, just as I hate radical, fascist, right-wingers. They've done a better job in marginalizing their heart right than the Democrats have done, which is why I left the Democratic Party.
I don't think you call me a fascist right-winger, but I'm a proud right-winger that supported the Constitution. So.
There are fascist right-wingers within the Republican Party, but we've done a good job of getting rid of them, and they've been marginalized much more than the Democrats. But I would never accuse you of anything like that. You're a decent conservative.
Thank you, Professor. All right, lastly, you know I need the publicity. I'm trying to get ratings for the show. If you told me right now you were voting for President Trump, boy, you'd be doing me a huge favor. We got it?
No, you can't have it. Everybody in my family is a Democrat. Everybody in my family. I used to have friends. I don't have any more because of President Trump. But it's been a very hard decision for me to go against everybody in my family. And I've done it, and I don't regret it. My family knows that I live my life by principle. And
Hey, yeah, what's the problem?
But that's who I am, and take it or leave it.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. How was dinner? You're easy. What did you guys have tonight? Oh, that sounds good. All right, I'm still getting over the shingles. Oh, that's all right. People get them, you know. Yeah, yeah. Hey, oh, hey, don't worry about it. Hey, so are you gonna watch the debate tonight? Yeah, yeah, right. Get some popcorn and a drink for that one. Yep. And you guys, yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna ask you guys to take a picture. Have Russ to take a picture with his phone of you and him and the cat. I'd like to see a picture of the cat. See a picture of you guys, if you don't mind. Yeah, I didn't get them. Send them to my cell phone or Facebook or something. Oh, well, yeah. Tell them to do it again. Other than that, how things going down there? I knew that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's funny. Oh yeah, I've been on the couch all summer long. Oh yeah, that you know what? I gotta tell you, I was really glad that I wasn't a 59-year-old roofer with kids living paycheck to paycheck. Because I would have had to I would have had to have gone to work. I could not have worked. I couldn't today if I had to go to work today. Yeah. But anyway, enough of that crap. How's Susan doing? She's good. She doesn't even know I called you. She's in the other room with the door closed, watching TV. Oh yeah, yep. But yeah, tell Susan. There's this software package now that I see women doing. They take a picture of themselves and they run it through the software, and what it does is it produces a beautiful picture, what looks to be a younger version of the same person. Well, Susan's been doing it and putting it on her Facebook, and they're absolutely beautiful pictures. Oh, yeah, but the thing is that they're not really her. You know? No, they're an image of her image that the computer redoes, and it's really a fake picture. It's like a picture of how she could have looked 30 years ago. I'm talking. They changed the clothes, the hair, the color of the hair, the skin tone, everything. You know. But it's got her face in there, and it's beautiful. But I put a response in the comments. I put, "Hey, these are beautiful, but they're not really you. They're not the real you." I said, if you want to wow the world with you, Show them that picture you showed me one day when you were up here. Well, she's got this picture of her when she was young, and she pulled it out. She showed me. I'm like, wow, holy crap! It was like this picture. I think you put it on Facebook, or she did, and it was a picture of you getting out of a pool, an in-ground pool, and it was a public pool, like at a hotel or I don't know where it was. It was a public pool of some kind. And it looked like it was the 50s or early 60s. And you got like a one-piece bathing suit on, and you're getting out of the pool, you're out of the pool. But I looked at that picture, I go, oh my God, this looks like something right out of Hollywood. Yeah, I mean, you look like a model in it, and you look like it looked like it was someone that was rich and famous in the 60s that they took a picture of, you know? That's just the Zsa Zsa Gabor in you. I told Russ you got some Zsa Zsa Gabor in you. Hey, what's Russ doing? Anyway, I'm gonna let you guys get going, but do send me some pictures of you guys and the cat, okay? That's funny. Yeah. Yep. And tell Russ I just hung up the phone with Steve Thompson and his wife. Russ knows who Steve Thompson is. Yeah, Steve Thompson. Yep. 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 Oh well, he's a good person, and Russ knows that. Former Navy guy. Yeah. Yeah. I know you do. I know. I'm not worthy, but I know. Tell you might see us in the spring, maybe. Yeah. Hey, listen. I know you guys aren't gonna do it, and I don't blame you. But we're talking. It's only talk at this point. But we're talking about another reunion, but this time down at Darren's house in Tampa. Yeah, in March. That's a nice time. March is a great time to be in northern Florida. No, it really is. It's a nice time to be down there. Yeah, and hey, Evelyn, and he lives right on the water, so yeah, he lives right next to the water. I mean, really right there. So we can go to the ocean and all that. How far is that? Oh, then you could either stay with us at Darren's or stay there. Yeah. I'll go slap the bitch later and say it's from you. You know what? And then I'm going to tell her you laughed. Then I'm going to tell her you laughed after I slap her. You guys are funny. You crack me up. Love you too. And root Trump on tonight. Root Donald Trump on tonight. Okay. Okay, you too. Bye-bye. I hate the fact we're all getting old. No, some of us aren't getting old. Some of us are old. How you doing, huh? How you doing? All right. Okay. Why are you talking like that? Okay. Yeah, me and the boys are having a poker game. Drinking moonshine. Well, I don't know. Probably sometime in the wee hours. Why, you got your boyfriend over? Tell Uncle Ned when he hears my truck come in, he better get it running. All right. Well, my arm's hurting. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it has been. I don't know. It just feels good to have you around. I took some at 1 o'clock or so. Yeah, I took all my fucking pills. I took my supplements. I'm ahead of the game here. I'm all done. I got my 9 o'clockers. That's it. I know. All right. I was just kind of wondering if you could come in and check on me. I just went up to follow Russ and Abby. They sounded real good. She sounded good. She sounded very funny, and she's kind of funny actually. She sounds good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I told them to send a picture of them and the cat. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll see you when you come check on me. Where do you want to watch it? Well, what time does it start? 9 o'clock? Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll see you. I'll see you soon.
Yes. And I send a message to the country and by mail that I face a danger. If there is any Espira for the appointment, but I didn't receive any information.
And in that time, then you got kidnapped.
I kidnapped.
Because I believe they're sincere about wanting a better life for themselves. They also said, don't ever do this again. Don't come the way we came here. It's very frightening. This is the responsibility of this also falls on the Biden-Harris administration for incentivizing all of this. And see how they're trying to flood them through the ports of entry. Same amount of crossings. They're just trying to move them around. I want to bring in now, live from the border, Real America's Voice correspondent who's been doing all of this work for us. Ben Bergholm is back. Ben, welcome.
Thanks, Grant.
And that was a powerful interview. My sister actually wanted me to ask you a question. There was a point in your interview where they said they couldn't call home. Were you able to help them call home? Did you do anything like that for them?
We were actually trying to do that, set it up. I had to do the interview with Wilbur right after I did the interview with them. And by the time we had gotten off and we were making the connections, Border Patrol came. So undoubtedly they got to a Border Patrol station and were able to make that phone call, but they weren't able to make it with us, unfortunately.
All right, so what are you seeing now out there? This story, it just goes to show you that conservatives are not heartless. There were conservatives that felt for these Christians that are fleeing Egypt and everything that goes around there. But they've got to do it the right way, and the Biden-Harris administration are the ones that are basically duck calling them on in here, Ben.
Yeah, the Democrats, Open Borders Democrats, these leftists, the United Nations, and all these NGOs have invited this misery upon these people. There are millions of people around the world, probably billions of people around the world that want a better life, that would love to come to America, but that's not the way to do it. And in fact, what's insane about this, Grant, and we're releasing this on your show, I've got video on the Mexico side of the border, right where they were let off by the same cartel, the Sinaloa cartel, drug mules later on that afternoon that were about to come across. Two different camps within 100 yards of the end of the wall, and then another one that was down within 100 yards of one of the openings in the wall. Sinaloa cartel operating down there, making billions of dollars. And the only reason why the cartel drug smugglers didn't come across yesterday was because we were standing there. There was no Border Patrol for miles. We hadn't seen the Border Patrol after they picked up the give-ups, which are basically a distraction by the cartel. The same ones that had kidnapped them, later they were going to be running through the same thing. So that's what Kamala Harris's policies do. That's what Joe Biden's policies do. They put people in danger. They invite people on this deadly journey, and they don't tell them the reality about it. And the reality is, most of the people I talk to that have gone through the journey say the same thing. These guys from Egypt, with tears in their eyes, they say, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah. Ben, can you explain to us exactly what we're seeing on the screen? There was the camp there, and where this is, and why the camp is there. Is it a permanent camp for them? Explain to me what exactly we're looking at here.
Yeah, this is a Sinaloa cartel. We actually have uncovered, we broke the story a couple of years ago about bunkers that were on top of one of the mountaintops. They moved those off. In fact, the Mexican military went in and raided those at one point. They're not there any longer. They've moved down directly to right across where the wall ends. So where Kamala Harris and Joe Biden stopped building the wall between Sassabee, Arizona and Nogales, Arizona, there is a permanent camp set up. There's actually two of them, camps set up with cartel members, and you can see in the video at one point there's a couple of them hiding under a tree. There's a long gun. One of them has a long gun. They've got and you can tell the difference between a dope load and a regular load by how packed the backpacks are. They look almost like rectangles in there. They maximize every square inch of the backpacks. There was a group of 5 under one tree. I ended up yelling at them, flying the drone over top of them, scaring them. They ended up moving back to the second camp, which was just about a mile down the road, where another hole in the fence is, another hole in the wall is, that would be closed if President Trump went in there, but it's still wide open because of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And this camp was even larger. I couldn't believe it. It was like 5 different tent setups. It's basically they've got cover over where they're staying, and some of them they have solar generators. They're there permanently. So these are cartel members, Sinaloa cartel members that operate permanently. They've got operational control on the border, and they basically work the Border Patrol to their will.
If you could be real quick, because we're against the clock. They're moving drugs, you said. They're moving people, I would imagine, sex trafficking and slave labor. Is there any just straight migrants that are paying them to move, that are not being trafficked per se, but want them as tour guys to get into America. And those are the three things that basically they're doing.
Yep, it's drugs, it's slaves, and it's people that are just coming through because they know they'd be rejected if they came through a port of entry. So, and ironically, most of those people are Mexican citizens. It's harder to come across illegally as a Mexican citizen now than it is to come across anywhere else in the world, because we can repatriate you back to Mexico much easier than we can to, some part of Africa. So, yes, it's those three things. But what we're being told by Border Patrol and by people on the ground there, the number of the amount of drugs that are coming across are hitting historic numbers, and that's the big concern. And the other side of that are the terrorists. So it's all the people that don't want to get caught. Either they're going to be deported, they've got a criminal history, or they want to do America harm. All of that. The cartel doesn't care as long as you pay.
And bingo at the end. It's the people that don't want to get caught. These are the worst of the worst that you are out there.
And Grant, a day before we remember 9/11, we're still inviting terrorists across our southern border because of Democrat policies.
Yeah. Ben Berkman, God bless you, man. This work that you're doing is unbelievable. Nobody else, no other network is doing this. You and the other guys involved are just absolutely fabulous. We appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Grant. My pleasure.
Absolutely. All right, folks. Everyone knows the next medical crisis is just around the corner. You and your family need to be prepared. That's where the Wellness Company comes in. The Wellness Company and their doctors and medical professionals, you can trust them, all right? They've got emergency medical kits that look like this. They're the gold standard when it comes to keeping you safe and healthy. Prescription medications, antibiotics, antivirals, ivermectin, and all kinds of life-saving medications, including a Z-Pack as well. The emergency kit provides a guidebook to aid in the safe use of all of these life-saving medications. Here's what you do to get one. Go to twc.health/voice. twc.health/voice to save 10% at checkout. That's twc.health/voice. All right, what do the polls say before the debate between President Trump and Kamala Harris? That's next. what do the experts say about how important tonight's debate actually is? Well, joining me now, also from McLaughlin and Associates, Jim McLaughlin is with us. Jim, it's great to have you back on.
Great to be here, Grant.
All right, so I saw that New York Times Siena poll came out a couple days ago. Trump up by 1. It's a statistical dead heat. You and I have talked before. I think the polls are either oversampling Democrats. I think President Trump is probably further ahead than these things show. What does tonight mean, though, for the polls?
Look, I think in many ways that the pressure's really on Kamala Harris because the voters know Donald Trump. They know his record of success, and that's one of the big advantages he has here. On the issues that people care about most, he's got significant advantages over Kamala Harris. But one of the challenges is going to be here tonight is, Kamala Harris is going to try to pretend, she's going to try to hide. They were using actors literally to try to prep her for this debate because they don't want the American people to know the real Kamala Harris because she's been so liberal. We all heard Bernie Sanders over the weekend say, hey, don't worry about her. She's just being pragmatic. You have the socialists basically telling the message to the radical left in the Democratic Party that don't worry. She's going to be an extremist. She's going to continue to support open borders. She's going to continue to support these inflationary policies. She's going to continue to be soft on crime. And she's going to continue to give us these weak American policies that our enemies unfortunately love.
Yeah. Let me ask you about Nate Silver. He's a statistics guy, and he constantly gives chances of winning rather than percentages. He has Trump at a 63.8% chance of winning the Electoral College, and recently he came out that statistically, Nate Silver has Trump winning every swing state. That's pretty impressive. What do you make of these kind of studies where you look at statistically the chance of winning over what the polls are saying?
Look, I think not only Nate Silver, but some of the other more Democratic-friendly prognosticators, they are privy to some of the Democratic polling that's out there. And we've all heard the stories about the Democratic polling. You've heard from people like James Carville, and you've heard from the gentleman who's running Kamala Harris's super PAC, where they were saying, hey, she's not ahead. And look, when you look at the electorate right now, and even the Mayor's College poll, it said, it was basically a statistical tie, but it had Donald Trump up by 3 points among independents. And if you look at what's happened in the last couple of presidential elections, Donald Trump can probably lose the national general election vote by about 3 or 4 points and still win the Electoral College. But what happens is when you look at the internals of these polls, Donald Trump is basically doubling his percentage among black voters, even versus Kamala Harris. He's going to get the best percentage probably of any modern Republican presidential candidate among Hispanics in certain states. He's going to win the Hispanic vote. And then when you look what he's doing with suburban voters, what he's doing with young people, he's significantly overperforming what he's done in the last 2 presidential elections. So that's why I think you're getting folks like Nate Silver out there and some of these other prognosticators that are saying Donald Trump is definitely ahead right now.
All right. So people ask me all the time, Grant, can Trump win? And, it's a simple question, but we've looked at all what happened in 2020 and the shenanigans that went on. And my answer to them is I feel really good. I don't feel as good as I did when he was running against Joe Biden. But I still feel really good, and my gut tells me that he's going to win this thing, providing all of us do our part. You're intimately involved with all of this and the numbers and seeing the stuff from on the ground. Do you feel as good as I do, Jim?
Yes, and I will tell you this. Look, we've been with Donald Trump from the very beginning, even back in 2011, 2012, when he decided not to run back then. This is far and away the best campaign that he's ever run. But one of the reasons why the campaign is so good, you've got people like Susie Wiles, Chris LaCivita at the top, is we are as organized as we've ever been, whether it's from the grassroots level, whether it's to media, advertising, etc. They're checking all the boxes of what needs to be done. And the other thing they're also doing, which is hugely important, which we didn't have, they have a ballot security program that we never had in the past campaigns. And look, I feel really good about where we are, but you cannot be complacent, because you think about all the dirty tactics that the left and their allies in the media have done to Donald Trump. You can't be complacent. They're going to pull out all the stops.
Yeah, we can be confident, but not complacent. And that is great advice from Pollster Jim McLaughlin. Buddy, it's so good to see you. I appreciate you coming on tonight, as always.
My pleasure, Greg. Keep up the great work.
I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you. All right, folks, listen to me. We got chaos in the world. We got craziness unfolding. We don't know which direction the country's going under this Harris-Biden administration. What do? Stock market's all over the place. Forget about Bitcoin. It's up, it's down. You protect yourself with gold. You hedge your bets with gold. It has stood the test of time as a hedge against all of these things, including inflation, which continues to be on the rise. So how do you get the gold you need? Well, simply get in touch with our friends at Birch Gold. Talk to them about how much is right for you. You do it by texting America to the number 989898. So many of our friends at Real America's Voice are using Birch Gold with such great reviews. Again, America to the number 989898. You know, they come on this show. They're supportive of this program. We get to know these guys, and they are fabulous. Again, Birch Gold. Text America to the number 989898. All right, Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill was put in handcuffs on Sunday. Now we have body cam footage. I'll show it to you next.
Guys, it looks like Kamala Harris, Donald Trump are going to be meeting in Philadelphia tonight, in a couple of hours for the presidential debate. I mean, a lot of people are waiting for this. What do you guys think is going to happen tonight? Do you think Kamala Harris is going to destroy?
Guys, welcome back. In today's video, we are talking about the AMC breakout, the new short strategy, the AMC and GME merger news, and more in this video. First, we're taking a look at this. 3 different sides, 3 different for institutional ownership. So yesterday, just for you and your wife.
Imagine living without a fridge in the middle of a scorching summer and still keeping your food fresh. Sounds impossible, right? Well, the Amish have mastered this art with techniques that have been used for centuries. Welcome to Frugal Solutions. Today we're diving in.
All right, brace yourselves for this next story because it's a doozy. Springfield, Ohio, now about to be renamed Little Haiti. It's a town that most Americans probably couldn't find on the map will suddenly become ground zero for a crisis that epitomizes everything wrong with our current immigration policies. We're talking about a massive influx of Haitian.
There's one sector where the Kamala BS tends not to work upon them, and that is the financial sector. We're going to check in on CNBC, the business channel. I'm John Mike Dean. Here comes the snow job.
I think she's been crystal clear on her values, what she wants to fight for, and how she.
Centuries. Welcome to Frugal Solutions. Today we're diving in.
And if you look at what's happened in the last couple of presidential elections, Donald Trump can probably lose the national general election vote by about 3 or 4 points and still win the electoral college. But what happens is when you look at the internals of these polls, Donald Trump is basically doubling his percentage on
What do you make of these kind of studies when you look at statistically the chance of winning over with
Donald Trump? They know his record of success, and that's one of the big advantages he has here. On the issues that the people care about most, he's got significant advantages over Kamala Harris. But one of the challenges is going to be here today is, Kamala Harris is going to try to pretend, she's going to try to hide, Kamala Harris. But one of the challenges is going to be here today is, Kamala Harris is going to try to pretend, she's going to try to hide. They were using actors literally to try to prep her for this debate because they don't want the American people to know the real Kamala Harris because she's
After 9/11, we're still inviting terrorists across our southern border because of Democrat policies.
Ben Berkeley, God bless you, man. This work you're doing is unbelievable. Nobody else, no other network is doing this. You and the other guys that get involved are just absolute fabulous. We appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, man.
Absolutely. Oh, folks, everyone knows the next medical crisis is just around the corner. You and your family need to be prepared. That's where the wellness company comes in. The wellness company and their doctors and medical professionals, you can trust them. All right, they've got emergency medicine. Fabulous. We appreciate you coming on. Take care. Absolutely. Oh, folks, everyone knows the next medical crisis is just around the corner. You and your family need to be prepared. That's where the wellness company comes in. The wellness. I mean, what exactly we're looking at here. So, yeah, he lives right next to the water. I mean, really right there. So we know the ocean and all that. How far is that? Oh, well, they're both, and you can either stay with us in there or stay there. Yeah. I'll go slap the bitch later and say it's for you. You know what? And then I'm going to tell her you laughed. Then I'm going to tell her you laughed after I slapped her. Russ knows who's speaking. They take a picture of themselves and they run it through the software, and what it does is it produces a beautiful picture. What looks to be a younger version of the same person. Right. Well, Susan's been in immediately saying that these protesters are saying all the right things. They're doing it in somebody like Waltz, idiotically, immediately saying that these protesters what is happening? So what is happening? So yeah, he lives right next to the water. I mean, really right there. So we know the ocean and all that. How far is that? Oh, they're both, and you can either stay with us in there or stay there.
Just kind of feeling sarcastic.
From the radical wing of the Democratic Party, Bernie Sanders says, "Oh, no, don't worry, progressives, radicals."
Come on, okay.